Wow, see how far we've come. Welcome to day 4 of 5 days in Notion. I've come to realize that whatever it is that you're looking for in life, be it success, be it peace, be it growth, is also looking for you. But here is the catch. It is not looking for the current version of you. It is looking for the version of you that must become. And this is where people miss it most of the time. You don't achieve your goals when you finally hold them in your hands. You achieve them when they first entered into your mind. But they only manifest when your daily actions match that vision. That is why goals alone are not enough. The real question is not what do you want to achieve out of life, what are your goals? The real question should be, what are you doing every single day that is turning you into the person that deserves that goal that you set for yourself? If I want to know whether you achieve your goals, I don't have to see your vision board. I will ask to see your daily routines, because what you do daily is who you are becoming. Your tomorrow is not a far destination. It is a cumulative of every single thing that you do every day. That is why habits matters. That is why routines matters. It can be boring, but they are the life-changing acts that you can subscribe to. And more importantly, habits matter, routines matter, and tracking them is even more important. Because the moment you start tracking something, it stops being vague and becomes visible. And when something becomes visible, your brain begins to treat it like a game. Games work so well because they give us psychological triggers. See, your brain is wired to progress because it releases dopamine, not just when you reach the finish line, but when you can see yourself moving closer to it. So tracking your habit forces discipline from something you force into something you engage with. And so you are no longer relying on motivation, you are playing a system. And when life happens, because it definitely will, the systems helps you calibrate instead of quitting. Take for example, at the beginning of the year, I made a resolution that I was going to post consistently every weekdays on my LinkedIn account. And I already have the content plan ready. But guess what? Last weekend on Friday, after I made my Friday post, I didn't know what happened. I came back to my LinkedIn account and I discovered that LinkedIn had restricted my account. And so that affected me posting on my LinkedIn. That's just life, because there'll be a point in life where life will just happen. And so being able to track your habit, being able to have a system that you build that keeps you accountable, that helps you see the progress you are making, it gives you perspective, and you can better make informed decisions. That is why we don't just build habits. We design systems that make showing up feel rewarding. See, your daily habits are the real KPIs. They tell you whether you're actually on track or you're just feeling busy. But here's the problem. Most people don't track their habits properly, or they don't even track it at all. So today we are not just talking about habits, but we will be building habit tracking system. So let's get started. So we started talking about goals, key performance indicator, and daily routine from the last video. And so what I'm going to be focusing on in routine, like I said, you don't need to show me your vision dashboard for me to know where you're going. Just show me your daily routine and I can tell whether you're definitely going to achieve your vision, what you have on your vision board or not. And so what I'm going to be focusing on today is going to be daily routine. This class is most likely going to be the shortest class, but they're going to be able to gain so much using this particular routine format that I want to set for you. Now, this is routine, because in this video I'm going to be talking about routine and routine tracker so that you can see how they work. So for that to work, I'm going to be creating a routine tracker here. That's another database. So just like we always had a new block /database inline database, and so I have this is going to be routine tracker. So I'm going to drag it to where I have my personal data center. So now the question now be, what are the things I want to track in my daily routine? part of the things I want to track in my daily routine is, number one, I want to be able to track my devotional life, because as a believer, devotion is very, very important for me, and something I don't want to joke with. So the first thing I want to be able to track is my daily devotion. That's one of the first things I want to track, my daily devotion. I don't want the icon, so you know how you do it. Go to the layout, you toggle off icon. So I want to track my daily devotion. One of the things that is also very important for me because of my health, I want to track how often I take my breakfast. So because breakfast is part of the most, like they say, is one of the most important meal of the day. So am I taking my breakfast? And what that means that if I'm not taking my breakfast, that means I'm not fasting. Invariably, what I'm trying to say that if I don't take my breakfast for that day, what that simply means that I'm fasting. So I want to track my breakfast and I want to track my dinner. I rarely take lunch, so I'm going to track breakfast and dinner. I mean, the reason why these are something very important to me is because, like I stated in the previous video, health is very important, because your body system have to be in the right for you to be able to like do every other thing that you want to do. So breakfast. Then another thing that I would also like to track is the book that I read, study. So what I call it is study. So that means part of my goal is to study, is to read a chapter of a book every single day. So I'm going to be tracking my study. Then I'm also going to be adding another thing I'm going to be tracking. I'm going to be tracking my project. Do I need to track my project? Another thing, after study. So one of the things I also track is my social media engagement. So because I can't afford to use my entire day and spend my entire day on social media, right? So what I try to do is to allot a time for my social media engagement. So that's why I track my social media. So most of the time I spend a minimum of 1 hour to 2 hours every day on my social media account. So 1 hour in the morning to post my content, to engage my content, and whatever it is I intend to do on my social media account that day. And then when I'm back in the evening, to check and respond to if I have messages and the likes. But another thing that is very important to me that I ensure I check is, first thing first is my email. I think that's like the most important thing, email and news. So those are like part of my critical to do every time I wake up in the morning. So email and news. So that means is to track how often do I check my and stuff that is going around me. And part of the things I also do is I do midnight prayers. So that's what I call engaged culture, intercession. So I'm just going to add that here. I call it engage. Yes. So now these are the things I want to track. Yours can be mine is of a bit more than this, but we're going to restrict it to this. So at your own pace, you can also list the things that you want to track every single day. So now these are the things I want to track. And now, what area of my life does those things relate to? Because remember, I said the thing that you do daily are what's going to culminate into all of this area of your life that you want to work on. And so it's not just about setting goals, it's about the thing that you do every day. What are the things that you do every day that affect each of those areas of your lives? In my part of the things I track, of course, is my engagement with business. Every day of the week, I ensure that there's a time that I allot for meeting with people. So most of the time, my meeting time is around 8 to 9, meaning that if my meeting time for 8 to 9 is blocked, I'm most likely going to move the next meeting time. In case you want to book a meeting time with me, your next meeting time is more likely going to book to the next day. So that's how I manage my time. So I'll probably just add to these meetings. So I like having meeting with people by night. So I'm also going to be tracking meetings. And when I mean meetings, I'm not just talking about business meeting. I mean, those are the times where I can maybe call my friends to check up on them. Of course, it can also include business meetings. Those are the time I can check up on my family to see what's going on. I mean, by this time, most people have been back to the house, and trying to relax and all of that. So those are the things I'll be tracking. So now I'm not going to link them back. I'm going to add a property to tag what area of my life or what part of my life those routine belongs to. So I'm going to add select. So this one, daily devotion, of course, it is spiritual. Like I said, I always like I always like color coding my most of my items on Notion board because that's what makes it aesthetically pleasing. So I'm going to color code this red. Yes, spiritual. Breakfast is health. Breakfast is health. I would like to have this one as green. Dinner also, of course, is also. So I'm going to copy what I have here and paste it in the next cell. So I'm going to Control C or Command C window. So I'm going to copy what I have in the breakfast cell to the next one for the dinner. So Command C for those who use Mac and Windows C, Control C rather for those who use Windows. So paste. Study is intellect. So I'm going to change this to intellect. So for this intellect, I'm going to color code it blue. Yes. So news is also going to be intellect as well. Engage culture is going to be spiritual. Meetings this is going to be relationship. Yeah, so these are the items. So I'm going to rename this one portfolio, whatever it is I want to call it. I'm going to name this portfolio. So these are the portfolio. So meaning that everything I'm tracking here and everything I'm tracking my daily routine is they are linked to this routine tracker. So now we are going to hold on this and let's head into our routine. Now in our routine, remember we have workout and drink water, have a breakfast, read a book. So I'm going to remove all of this and I'm going to head back and copy what we have, everything that we have here, then paste it here because I don't want to go through the process of having to type all over again. So I'm going to change the icon here back to yes. So now this is what we have. These are the items I want to be able to track. Now, one of the things I always like to do is in time management, there's something part of the time management mechanics that I like to use a lot is the time blocker time management mechanism because it's sort of allows me to be able to know what I'm doing every second, every minute of the day. Meaning that even in a time where I couldn't I didn't have enough rest overnight, so I overslept. One thing I can now do is once I wake up, I'm not thinking, okay, what's the next thing to do? I can just add to my routine and see, okay, this is the time I woke up. These are the things I need to do. And then along the line, I can use every other time to catch up on the things I've missed before I woke up. So that's how I manage my own time. So because of how Notion works, I'm not going to be adding dates. I'm not going to be using this, but rather I'm going to be using text because there's no Notion property that can allow you to add only time to your database. So I'm going to be deleting this. Rather, instead of deleting, I'm going to change property type to text because I'm going to be adding text. I'm going to be adding those 9 a.m., 10 a.m. because that's how I built my own Notion database. So this is an example. This is my oh god, where is it? So this is my Notion database. This is my daily routine, for example. These are the things I'm meant to do every single day. You can see everything is timed. So meaning that even if I wake up by 6:30 a.m., I know what is the next thing to do. Although I've missed some items at this top list, but I can in all of the breaks that I have in between, I can always find a way around to fix the things that I've missed in the morning and be able to catch up. But I ensure that, but most of the time I rarely sleep late into the night, so I'm able to wake up early as possible. So this is what we have. So I'm going to label this for my daily devotion. Most of the time my daily devotion starts by 5:30. So you can label yours as well 5 a.m. Some is meditation, some is daily devotion, depending on how you want time it. So we just add a random time. So this is 5 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. The breakfast is going to be by 8 o'clock a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Just an example. Dinner is probably going to be 6 o'clock p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Maybe you study in the morning, and that's probably going to be, say, from 6 o'clock to 6:30 a.m. Meetings is 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Engaged culture is 12 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock a.m. Email and news early in the morning is 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. So these are the things I will need to do. So I'm going to change the icon of this to time. So this is time icon. Now, if you look at this, the time is not properly in order. So one of the property I always like to add is the number, to number every item that I need to do every day. So I'm going to add the number prop. So this is the first thing I want to do when I wake up. 1. So I'm going to label that 1. Then breakfast is by 8. This is another item by 2. So I'm going to label this 2. Then this 8 a.m. This 3 is going to be 3. No, this is going to be 3. This is going to be 3. Well, this is by 6:30 a.m. And this is going to be 7 because this is by 8 a.m. This is going to be 4. This is going to be 5. This is going to be 6. And this is going to be 7. So in order to properly reorder these items, what I'm not going to do is I'm going to drag this to this end so that it is well labeled. So this is 1, 4, 5. So I want to reorder them in the ascending order. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this sort. So this is where you're going to be using all of these icons here. So when you click on sort, we ask you what do you want to use to sort. So I want to sort by number. So once we click on sort by number, this is what you're going to have. So you can see you have number, and you can see this is what you're sorting by. We are sorting ascending order. So that's why we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in the right order now. So now you will ask me, having to enter this every single day, wouldn't that be a lot of tasks to do? So that's why we are having this class, so that you can learn how to now automate all of these tasks such that it will populate itself. So what happened is that in my own case, it took me an entire day to set up my daily routine tasks, and since that time I've not set it up again. Why? Because the database automatically populates itself. So what we're going to do today is to expatiate on how to allow your database populate itself automatically by using repetition, telling it to repeat a particular task every single day or every single week. So what you're going to do now is you are going to come to this new page. When you click on this new page, you click on the arrow by the side. When you click on the arrow, you are going to see, from yesterday, we already created a template, and I briefly talked about how to always how to allow the database, how to allow the item repeat itself. But today we are going to be focusing on how to actually do it in detail. So what I'm going to click on is I'm going to click on new template. The first thing, of course, is to replicate. Now the question is, do I want it to duplicate every day, every weekday, every week, 2 weeks, 2 months, in 3 months, 6 months, a year? Because it's a daily routine, right? I'm going to pick a day. I'm going to pick day rather. Then it's going to ask you to edit the cadence, which is going to be, you want it to repeat every day, and at what time do you want it to appear? At what time do you want it to appear? If you click on around midnight, that will not be possible. So let me click around 12, so that you can see it in action here. So I'm going to click on 12:30. So I'm going to click on 12:30 because that's like the closest that we have. I'm going to click on 12:30 p.m. starting from today. Yes, and it should never, and the time zone, of course, is GMT plus 1. So I'm not going to turn it. So it's the next occurrence is what? Today at 12:30 p.m. So I'm going to save. So what I'm going to add here is, so you can see the first thing here is daily devotion. I'm going to check what time do we have for our daily devotion. That 5:30. Time for our daily devotion, I think, is 5 o'clock a.m. to 5:30 a.m. So, and what's the number? The number here is 1. Then of course you add the icon. So that's what you're going to. So you see that it didn't appear here. So what's going to happen is you're going to see something that's going to happen. So when you go back to where this new page is, you are now going to see the daily devotion appearing here with this duplicate daily icon. You can see when you click on this duplicate daily, you can easily edit it here. But I'm going to show you the magic that's going to happen. It's meant to duplicate by 12. So you're going to wait so that you can see that it's going to automatically duplicate itself by 12:30. So while we are waiting for that, we are going to also try and work on the remaining text that we want to also allow it to duplicate every single day. So now this is, we have study is from 6 o'clock to 6:30. So I'm going to copy this, click on new, add new template. This is going to be study. I'm going to paste the date. This number 2. I'm going to add the icon to that real quick. The routine should be duplicated every day. This should also duplicate by 12:30. So 22 today, ending around 12:30 p.m. So save. Yes. So this is what we're gonna have. And then what you do now is you click out. So now we have number 1 and number 2. So if, like I said, if you want to edit any of this daily routine, because the template I'm going to be sharing with you is going to have most of these, right? So how do you now edit it? All you just have to go to do is click on this state icon to edit this template, and then click on, so you see repeat, set as default, edit, duplicate, delete. So what you're going to do is edit, then you edit the details that you have here. So I'm going to do same for emails to wrap this up. So that's how you create your daily routine automation. The timing here is 6:30. So if you click on this, you can see that there's no that rotation icon on it. So I'm going to edit it again to ensure that I've completed the process. So daily, I'm going to put this one as 12:30 as well. That's 12:30 p.m. Yes, save. So this is what we have here, 12:30 p.m. Then the time, then this number 3. So then I click out. So now you are going to see something that this, when we come back without anything by 12:30 p.m. those details that we've worked on, they are going to automatically duplicate itself. Remember, we only have one daily devotion, we have one study, and we have one email and news, breakfast, dinner, meetings, and engage. This is our daily routine. What I'm now going to add is the status of those daily routine. So I'm going to add status. So by default, of course, we always have status selected. So we have not started, in progress, and done. By default, the default status that is being displayed is not started. So that's what we're going to have here. So we have not started. Now we are going to head back to our daily routine tracker, because we want to link our daily routine tracker together with our daily routine. So I'm going to change this one to daily routine, because the advantage of setting this up is that once you set it up, we are good to go. It's always about setting it up. And like I said, I'm going to be showing the template that I use with you. So all you just have to do is edit it, and you are good to go. So you're going to have to start setting it up all over again. All you just have to do is ensure that you have your daily routine written somewhere, and then you start editing it to fit into what you have for yourself. So we have data center and the daily and the routine tracker. So what I'm now going to add is, of course, very important that you now link your daily routine to your routine tracker. So you've done for goals and key performance indicator. We've linked both together. So we are now going to have daily routine and the routine tracker. So we are going to add property, then click on relations. In our relation, what we're going to have here is daily routine. So we click on daily routine, and then ensure that you toggle on the two-way relations, then add relation. You can now see here that we now have a property here that is on daily routine. So what we're now going to do is, So what we're not going to do here is we are going to add to our daily routine. Now I'm now going to link each of these routine to where they belong. So click on the, just like we did yesterday. This one, this daily devotion is meant for daily devotion. We have study, we have study, we have emails, we have dinner. Is it dinner or breakfast? Sorry, I'm going to paste this here. So this one is meant to be breakfast. This meeting, then this one is engage. So now it's very important for me to tell you, now this property, if you don't automatically add it to your template here, if you don't automatically add it to the template that you currently have here, it won't reflect in your routine tracker. It won't reflect in your routine tracker. So what I'm going to do is, for every routine that I've created their template, I'm now going to add into the daily devotion so that it can always defaultly add the daily devotion to the routine tracker. So the reason why I want to ensure that the template that is going to duplicate itself, the tracker, or add as the note with it, is so that anytime it's duplicating, it's also reading on my routine tracker. So everything is well knitted together. So I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to defaultly add that anytime it's duplicating, it should add the note to it. So that's going to be this daily devotion. So I'm going to add daily devotion. So click out. For this template, I'm going to add this study. I'm going to add study here as well. Then for the emails, I'm going to add emails to it as well. Emails and news. So this is what I have now. So what's going to happen is that when we come back here by 12:30, you'll have seen that they've all duplicated themselves. So this is what we have. So daily devotion, the routine for daily devotion is to track my daily routine, study, start study. So meaning that once you start having more than what you have here, you'll be able to see the result you are trying to achieve here. Then let's head back to data center. So we now want this thing to be able to track what's happening in my daily devotion. So I'm now going to add another roll up. Remember, roll up is to like extract a sort of data from your daily routine, or whatever database that you're trying to extract data from. So I'm going to click on roll up, add a roll up. Then of course you need to tell the roll up where you want to extract data from and the type of data you want to extract. Of course, the data that will link together to this database is your daily routine. So click on daily routine. I want it to, so it's showing me, the property that is showing me is the name of the routine, but I don't want to show me the name. I want to go to status. So that means I have one item that is linked to daily routine that I've not started, but instead of showing me not started, I want it to show me percentage of the things I've done so far. So I'm going to switch to, so I want you to calculate, instead of show original, I'm going to switch it to percentage per group and click on completed. So what you're showing me here means that I've done 0% of my routines. I've done 0% of my routines. And like I said, I always like to add colors to my database. So I'm going to click on roll up. I'm going to edit property and change this to bar. Once you change it to bar, so this is what you're going to have. Yeah, so change that to bar like that. So this is what you're going to have. So if you add into your daily routine, you can now, if you've done this one, so what you have to do is on your daily routine, you don't have to be opening your routine tracker. Your routine tracker is like your detective. So if you don't tell it that you've done something, it just be looking at you, and so it will be telling that you've not done something. So your routine tracker is like your detective that tells you that you've not done something. So if you go to your routine tracker, you're able to see that, you've done nothing out of your daily routine. But I'm going to change one of the status to done, and you see the difference. This is done, and so if you head back to your daily routine tracker, you can see that it's 100%. Why? Because I only have one item, and then I've done it, right? When you start having multiple data, that's when you start compiling. And the reason why it's better for, especially for daily routine, the reason why it's better for you to make it a daily habit is because it builds up itself. So one of the things that now make this thing more interesting is, if these are the things that you want to be doing every single day, to now make it more To now make you more disciplined, we are going to be adding the numbers of days we want to be able to do these things. Say we want to be able to do it from January to December. That means at least in this January we have 365 days. So I'm going to round up a number property that tells frequency. This is going to be frequency. So this is going to be frequency. I'm still going to remove this. So frequency, I want to have my daily devotion for 365 days. For everything, 365 days. So I want to do everything for 365. Now, even though yes, I have 365 days here, I want to be able to count number of items that I already have duplicated currently. So instead of it calculating percentage, I'm going to tell it to calculate, instead of calculating percentage, to count all. So that means I only have one item for daily devotion at the moment. I only have one item for breakfast. I only have one item for my dinner. So now I want you to calculate the one that I've done instead. So I'm going to change it back. Instead of counting all, I want you to count per group the ones I've completed. So that means I've done 0 of 1. I've done 0 of 1. So that's what it's showing here. Can you see? It's showing that I've done 0 of 1. Let's also see what are the things that we can also do here. All. Let's tell it to count all instead. No. So for this roll, I want you to roll up only the thing that I've done. So I'm going to change this one to so we have 365 days here now. So the next thing I want you to be able to count is only the item that I've done. Now this is where it starts getting tricky. And so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to be introducing to you what I call the Notion formula. So the Notion formula, or the Notion formula, is not something complicated. You are not coding, you are not doing anything. What Notion formula simply means is that you want Notion formula to say that if something happened on your database, this is what should happen. I want to believe that you get what I'm trying to say. If this happened on this Notion database, this is what should happen. So I'm going to be adding a Notion formula. I'm going to be formula. Where's formula? Yes. So what I'm going to add is here. So I want you to only calculate for me the item that are done. Right. So I want you to display only items only if the status of an item is done. So I'm going to look for the property here, status. So, like I said, you only use formula when you're trying to tell that particular colon to perform an action for you. For example, like I said, you want you to, if something happens on your database, this should happen on this cell. So what's going to happen is I'm going to click on this, and what I want to effect is that I want you to create a check mark when the status is switched to done. So I'm going to go to status. There are a lot of Notion formulas. You may probably have to watch a video. Maybe I will try and help you get a link to a video, or maybe create another video on how to use Notion formula. So we have status. If status equals, so this status currently is not started, but I want you to display a check mark when status is done. So I'm going to change status equals. So in Notion we use double equal to. Then now if you want to determine what's going to happen, because it's going to be a text, you are going to use quotation mark, double quotation mark, 1 2. Then you now determine what text are you looking for. I'm going to switch this one to done. You can see here that it's already displaying a check mark here. So I'm going to leave it like that and click on enter and click out. Can you see that what is showing here now? The reason why this is important is because if you go back to your daily routine tracker, and I try to switch for you to calculate per group, to count per, right? This is what's going to be, it's going to show you 0 of 1 and 0 of 2, but I want just a singular number. So instead of using count per group, I'm now going to switch it to, before I switch to Notion formula, I want to change the title of this to done. So what happens is that, meaning that anytime I switch the item here to done, there's a check mark icon that happens that should have done this thing. So what I want my Notion tracker is to be able to read the item that have been done and be able to give me that data. So I'm going to go back to my data center, and I'm not going to change this role to, instead of status, I'm going to change it to done, and then I want it to show only the one that I checked. So this is done now. Can you see? So this is, I've only have one done. Now let's head back. This is 12:31 already. Let's head back into our daily routine. Now you can see that this item has been duplicated. So we have two items here, two items that are studied, and that's because that's the timing I've told it to replicate itself. So that's what I do most of the time. So once I set up my daily routine, I don't have to be manually adding the items, right? It's automatically duplicate itself. And as season change for me and I want to like make adjustment to my daily routine, I can head back to where the templates are, make changes where I want it to be, and then we are good to go. Let me edit this. This, yeah. So I can always edit on the go. Now let's head back to our data center. Now you can see here that now it's only showing me a singular number, right? So what I now want to do is just like I did for the daily routine here, we have done, and every time I switch to done here, it's only if you check the formula, what I told it to is only if the status is equal to done, it should check mark. Meaning that if I switch to not in progress, it's not going to check mark anything, right? So it has to be done for it to check mark itself. Can you see? So if not, let's head back to our data center. Then you can see now the number of items that I've done this year, just in quotes, right? Yeah, 2. That means I've done 2 of 365. So I've done 2 of 365. So if you now want to read it in a progress bar manner, what you're not going to do is you're not going to use formula to now tell you that if this particular routine done, so I'm going to change it to routine done. If this particular routine is done, right? This is the title of the property. We have routine done, and we have frequency, So I'm going to add another property, which is going to be a formula, and then I'm going to say that. So I want the formula to now display 2 of 365. I want the formula to now display 2 of 365. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to, because these are property, I'm going to go to the name of that particular column that we are working with. So I'm going to go to routine. Anytime I want to add a text to Notion, like I said, you need to always have a double quote. This is what you have. And if the text you are adding is preceding a Notion property, you need to add a plus. You need to add plus to your formula. Then what I'm going to write here is of OF. So this is a text that I've added. Now if you observe it, this is going to be a preview of what is going to display. If you observe here that everything seems modeled up together. So what I'm going to do is, for you to add spacing in between those texts, what you're going to do is you're now going to add a space bar. After the colon, you had a space. You can see now we have a space here, and then come here as well again to add a space. Now I want to add another property. So what you're going to do now is space bar, add plus again, space bar again, then add frequency. So now you're displaying what 2 of 365. So if I click out, that's what's going to be displaying here. So depending on the property that you have here, it's going to display alongside the same thing. So you have 2 of 365, 0 of 365, 1 of 365, and the like. So like this, you can now start tracking how many times have I slept this week, how many times have I done my breakfast this week, how many times have I eaten this week, how many times have I studied my Bible, how many times have I read a book, how many times have I read my emails, how many times have I had meetings with people this week or this month, and like that you can see the picture of what you are looking for. So that's how you track your daily routine. And so by tomorrow we are not going to be using all of this routine to build a dashboard for ourselves. So we already have a daily routine, and maybe by tomorrow I'm going to be adding a bonus, which is going to be a sort of a project tracker for you. So that's that for today's class, and we call it a day. So I'm going to be turning this, in order to clean up this database, I'm going to be turning this into a page. So this is what we have, and that covers for our daily routine. So by tomorrow, which is going to be the last day, we are now going to be building the dashboard similar to what you have me displayed here. So this is my own personal Notion dashboard that displays all of the things I'm doing. So this is my Notion dashboard. So we are going to be building something close to that, and then with that, I believe that you have head start with the template that I'll be sharing. Yes, this is about building feedback into your life so you can adjust, recalibrate, and stay aligned. even when life happens, because consistency is not showing up when it feels easy. Consistency is showing up even when things don't go as planned. James Clear once said, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. A strong system ensures that your goals don't just stay as ideas, they actually get achieved, but through the habits and the culture that you cultivate. And so that's going to be all for today. If this video was helpful, share it with someone who you believe needs it. Like the video so more people can find it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.